are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or its advertisers.
The Angel Brown Effect. The Angel Brown Effect. Let's go.
Ladies, it's time for us to power up.
Hey, Baltimore, good morning. Listen, y'all heard my husband on the last show, right? That touched me. You know why? We don't talk about mental health enough. And we talked about this last week. And a lot of you guys called me, texted me, even emailed me and say, listen, do a part 2 to the show you did last week. Even though I wasn't even prepared to do anything last week. I was just trying to tell y'all some of the things that I was going through with my husband, with my sister in the hospital, with my grandmother being in the hospital. So I was just giving y'all some of the emotions that I was going through. And fortunately, it was helping others. So, I had to bring the GOAT here with me today, the greatest of all time with the mental health. That's right. I know those terms. You didn't think I knew that, did you, Damon?
She watched Kobe, the Kobe rerun. Yeah.
Actually, no, I heard about that before then. So guess what? The GOAT, my husband is here today, along with my little G baby, Anaya Marie, because she be on our hip. She don't leave outside. So she coming in the radio station with me as well. She was out there listening to her pop-pop, and she was like, is that my pop-pop that I hear? And then she kept saying, hey, Baltimore. I said, that's right, girl. Hey, Baltimore. Come on. Anaya Marie is going to be like the next. That's the generational wealth, y'all. We got to pass it along to the kids. So, that just was really loud, Damon. You turned mine up. That was like the screaming is in my ear. I heard myself. That scared me. Anyway, guys, listen, I got to start off with a couple of quick things. I had a young lady who reached out to me and was so touched by the message that I had last week. And she asked me if I was going to come on this week. And I actually wasn't supposed to be on this week. I was supposed to come back on next week. And it has a lot to do with sponsorship and things like that. And I don't talk about or ask for sponsorships often on the show. But I'm going to start asking y'all. just FYI. But this particular lady was like, I need for you for the rest of the month to please talk about mental health and to please talk about therapy and all the things that I was talking about on last week. And she was like, I want to sponsor the shows. And I was like, what? It was actually shocking to me. And she said, me and my grandkids and my kids get together every Saturday morning and we eat breakfast and we listen to the Angel Brown Effect. And that was something that really touched me because you never know how you're impacting people until you hear things like that. Yeah, I come on the show and I laugh and giggle and play and all those types of things. And, half the time I'm calling my own show ghetto. But obviously, it is helping others, and that's what it's about. So, when Mike asked my husband to be on the show, I piggybacked off that. I was like, you gonna come on mine, Damon? That's exactly what I said. If you going on Mike's, you gotta come on mine. So my husband, let me tell you, so y'all already know like the story about, what he does and everything with New Wave Health Services, but he is very passionate about helping others, like really passionate about it. And I didn't really notice until I sit, because sometimes I'm a busybody. I'm like an Energizer bunny. My battery just never dies. And so that's good and bad. And so sometimes when I'm in a still effect, when I am quiet and I just take in all the things that my husband is doing, I'm super, super, super duper proud of him. So Damon.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Welcome, Lil Anaya. You want to say good morning?
Good morning.
Anaya was ready this morning. Damon,
yes.
So, with New Wave Health Services, when you started New Wave Health Services, right?
Yes.
And that was a couple of years ago, just getting it off the ground. First of all, tell people why you started it.
Well, I started New Wave Health Services because before I was a registered nurse, and I was doing travel nurses all over the country. And a few of my last assignments, I was working on, drug and addiction units or mental units or psychiatric units. and I was seeing the need for patients to go somewhere once they're discharged from the hospital.
Right.
You know, I was the one doing the discharge, and when it was someone's time to be discharged, you know, I had to find somewhere for them to go, and that was a hard thing to do, you know, daily, because there weren't very good programs.
Right.
And some of the programs that, you know, we had to send people to, in my opinion, they weren't a high enough level or standard, because few weeks later or a few days later, we would see the patient right back in the hospital again. So I thought to myself, you know, maybe I could get some type of program that's a little different than the ones that's out there, and I could stop, you know, the reoccurring cycle of, you know, patients being discharged from hospitals, coming right back, you know, and kind of put some type of spin on what's going on.
And now that you're like actually in the business and have been doing the business for a while now, a couple years now, what do you see as far as, because I see a new face of mental health.
Yeah.
I see a new face of substance abuse.
Right.
I even see a new face of CEO. The new face of CEO is my freaking husband,
Yeah.
Damon Marshall.
Yeah.
That's the new face. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what we try to do.
So now, what do you see?
Well, as far as mental health and substance abuse, I see a younger
Yes, I see
demographic. I see a younger demographic. I also see a demographic who's starting to realize that the things that they used to do or that things that they were doing in the past were actually signs and symptoms of mental health. So people are becoming more aware. So like I said in the previous show, we were normalizing abnormal behaviors, right? So now people are saying, wait a minute, my uncle that, you know, has these mood swings, and one day he's happy, then the next day he's violent or cursing, you know, people out. That's no longer funny, right? Because before we didn't know that was mental health. We like, oh, that's just Uncle so and so.
Yeah,
you know,
at the cookout showing off.
He tripping,
I got a
stuff
couple
like
of them.
that. But now we understand that that's actually signs of mental health, and more of those people are coming in and saying, hey, I need help because this isn't normal.
Because, you know, a lot of people, I know even back in the day, when you hear, you know, you got to go to a therapist or you don't want to be known as crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody want to be known as loco.
And actually, that word is a word that they actually taken out of mental health. So we don't use crazy anymore, you know, because that's sort of a stigma. And so people really don't try to use that word because of what you say. You don't want to be labeled as that. So when you hear that, some people usually just, you know, go into a shell or say, you know, I'm not telling anybody about these thoughts I'm having, or I'm not telling anybody about, you know, the way I'm feeling.
Which leads to a deeper depression.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which we see from people who aren't getting the help. We don't see that they have these illnesses until it blows over.
That's true.
You know, they're on the news. They've shot 10 people.
Yeah.
You know, they've done all these bad things, and then it comes out that they have a history of depression or anxiety or all those bipolar. Because
it wasn't caught.
And it wasn't caught or it wasn't treated.
Right. And then there's levels to it as well.
Yes.
Because some people deal with anxiety. I know sometimes I have anxiety.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel like, am I depressed? Am I not depressed? I don't know.
But all that's fine.
But nobody ever told us it was fine before.
Well, when I say fine, I say everyone has a period where they're depressed or sad or anxiety. It becomes a mental health issue when it's prolonged.
Okay.
Right. If something happened in your life, of course, you're going to have a day or so of bad feelings or sadness or thing. But if that day or so turns into weeks and months or reoccurs every 2 weeks, and then that's when you know, hey, something's not right here.
Right. Yeah. And I think that a lot of us, I don't know what's happening with my headphones. I think it's Anaya. I think a lot of us sometimes, especially when we're in like situations where we're in the public eye now, or the whole social media thing can really take an effect on people as well, because now you have it whereas though people can like bully you, you know, on social media, making comments and things like that. And you have a lot of young people who are now experiencing mental illness and anxiety and depression and all that stuff from social media. How do you think that like social media is taking or having an effect on people's mental illness?
Oh, it's definitely having a huge effect because, like you said, social media it seems like it's unavoidable, right? Yeah. It's millions or hundreds of thousands or sometimes thousands of people that are able to judge or attack you from their own home. You know, most of the people
Right.
you don't even know.
Behind the
So,
keyboard.
Yeah, so if you're someone young and you're constantly on social media and you're constantly getting judged by wherever you have, what clothes you have on, how you dress, how you look, what you're not doing, what you are doing, that becomes a burden. And remember, most people on social media, where are they? They're in their rooms.
Yeah.
Alone or somewhere isolated. So they're taking all this on by themselves.
Right.
You know, your parents aren't aware of it. Your relatives aren't aware of it because most of the time they don't say anything.
Right.
So they go through this day in and day out until it gets to a boiling point where, you know, they're into a deep depression. And then, you know, we have to actually get them treatment or help.
And we have like a group chat in our family, right? In our main family. I have a couple different group chats, but we have one with my husband and my 2 children, right? And my son came out with a question to us all. And it was actually interesting because it really had to do a lot with mental illness. And what my son asked us was, he said, do y'all believe in free will or determinism? Right? And so we all kind of like weighed in on it. And what did you say, Damon, about that?
I said I believe in determinism because I feel as though all decisions are made on past experiences, right? For all decisions, you base your choices or your decisions on what happened in your prior experiences or what happened to someone else.
Right.
So most of the time, none of our decisions are free will or just, you know, off the cusp or just out of the air. Most of our decisions are made based on prior experience.
And determinism is a theory that all events, including moral choices, are completely determined by previous or existing causes.
Yeah.
So a lot of us, when we do something, typically it's based on something that has happened in the past.
Yes.
And so we all actually agreed. My daughter weighed in, I weighed in, and we actually all agreed on the same theory that Damon had. But I think it's a question that I wanted to put out to people because it's an interesting question because some people may think it's free will. And if you do think that, that's fine. I just want to kind of hear why you feel that it's free will. But I think that, and I put that question out there to like probably about 1,000 people and got like
response?
over 300. Most people thought it was the same thing that we thought, determinism.
Right. But that's one of those ones you can't really.
There's no wrong answer.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
You know, depends on the person.
It was just interesting to find out what people were thinking, what's on their minds, because it's funny. So many people ask me, what is my show about? Right?
Right.
Tony Thornton is one of them.
Yeah.
He asks me that all the time. Oh, yeah, Jason asked that too. What is my show about? I started this show off with real estate and flipping houses and building generational wealth. And I still believe in all of those things.
Yeah.
But I think that this show is really about just uplifting people and to just bring clarity and hope.
Yes.
I think that I am a symbol of hope to some people, to see where you came from to where you are, to where I am now, and all the different things that I've learned and able to teach others. And that was a question that was posed to me. It was like over 600 comments, by the way, as to what is Angel's show about?
Right.
I think only 2 people said real estate.
Right.
But
Well, it started that way.
it started that way. But I'm bringing all that up to say that sometimes we start one thing, right? And then it kind of is birthed into something else.
Yes.
Because I really feel passionate about now mental health, especially since my husband is in it. I get to sit and talk to the people at New Wave who I absolutely love to talk to.
Right. We
Every
have some
time I
great-
come there. We have some great people,
Yeah.
and I love talking to them. They are so talented.
Yes.
They are so talented in their own right, just, kind of fell off like we all do sometimes. We don't all fall off the same way, but, you fall off the wagon, you get back up.
Right.
But most often, people just don't want to be judged. They don't want to be judged because they're getting help or because they've reached out, because a lot of people will judge you.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people don't like going to church. I mean, I'm just saying, because of judgment. If you can step into a church whereas there is absolutely no judgment, and you have some that will say it's no judgment, but it'll be like side-eye judgment. I don't want side-eye judgment either. It's the same thing when somebody needs help.
Right. But we say all that, right? No one wants to be judged. But just look where the world's going now. The world is based on being judged. Facebook, Instagram, all those things are built for likes. Mm-hmm. All those people posting pictures are built for likes. So judging is becoming a huge part of people's everyday life.
Right.
And some people are inviting it in themselves, and some of it is unwanted. But just imagine the pressure and the stresses of that. So which leads to mental health issues, which leads to substance abuse issues because of just the way society is being designed now.
Right.
Everything is about what I have on. Do you like it? How do I look? Do you like it?
Right.
No, I don't like that. You know, you put something up and you're feeling really great about your picture. And someone comes on and say, that's a horrible dress.
And you take it down.
Some people's days are ruined because of that from someone who they don't even know.
Right.
So society is starting to transform into very judgmental. So that's why we have to be very aware. You have to be in tune with your kids. You have to be in tune with your family members to be able to pick up when something's going wrong, when they're acting differently, because there's so many stresses out there in the world today that, sometimes you catch it and it's too late and someone's ready to go off the deep end.
And I'm seeing that a lot.
Yes.
I'm seeing it a lot, especially with the millennials.
Yeah,
and
kids.
And it's crazy because social media, people use it for business.
Right.
People use it for personal. It's like a good cop, bad cop. Some people need it for marketing and things like that. But then at the same token, then you get the negativity with it, and then it could become addictive, very addictive, and things like that. And it's actually, I don't think that people realize the addictive manner that they get into when they start doing social media. It's like they absolutely need it. I don't know. Well, now you want to come over here, I guess, with the camera. They absolutely need it. And I'm not saying that you don't need it, but like Damon said, you got to be careful with it because a lot of people, they go off of likes big time. You put up a picture and at least 100 people don't like it. Somebody told me this before. At least 100 people don't like it. They'll take it down.
Oh.
I'm like, what in the?
I didn't know that. Yeah,
you didn't know that?
No.
David don't be doing the social media
I'm not a social media presence because I know me. Like, I'm one of the people who, like, aren't really concerned with what people think or say about me. So I know me, and I know it would be a problem for me.
Right.
If I would go on there and someone would, say something or, I'm not just into that. And it's fine because there's a lot of people actually more than that aren't on social media. That's what I'm saying. We think social media is actually running things, but there are people who really just stay away from it and do very
successful.
Well. Yeah, do very well. Right.
People used to tell me you gotta have a social media presence. You have to do this. You have to do that. And I'm like, we ain't have no social media presence when we bought all these houses.
Right.
We ain't have that when we did. I mean,
right.
That doesn't define us, but that's just us.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, there's more people like I said, my friends, I talk to them every day. We have to get back to that, the personal part.
That is
my
very
friends,
true.
I talk to my friends every day.
That's true.
Yeah,
everything
whether
is
it's
like texting
or calling, but I don't have to be on social media. I relate with my friends.
Right.
I talk to who I need to talk to. And that's the strong point where people who get so engulfed in it that they have to understand that that's not what you have to do. You don't have to be on social media 12, 14 hours a day.
Right.
We normalizing abnormal behavior.
Look at what I'm eating.
Yeah.
I'm at
I got a steak.
restaurant.
Yeah, I got a steak today.
Look at my outfit.
But it's right.
Oh, that's you, Jason. I'm sorry. I want to talk about you,
But
Jason.
like you said, it's fine. It's a good tool if it's used properly. Right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the abuse. I'm talking about the kids and the teens and the people who are being abused and bullied off of. I'm not talking about the adults that's doing very well with it. I don't want to say that.
Or just on
media,
it for fun.
Yeah, I'm not saying social media is a bad thing, but I'm just talking about it's being used for bad purposes. And it's starting to hurt some people.
I bully too. So.
Oh, you bully too.
Jason, you bully on social media?
If you're a politician, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you are a target.
Yes.
Really? Glad I ain't running for city council. I would not be on social media.
Right.
All right, what up, James Clark from State Farm? James, let me tell you, James has been like hooking us up with the policies for ever since I met him for a while now, right? And he gave us the best discounts. He also do life insurance. He gave us some great life insurance quotes and things like that. He is the sponsor, the main sponsor of the Angel Brown Effect. And not only that, he is the sponsor for our nonprofit organization as well. And that's something that we want to talk about really quick too. What we do is we help seniors get their homes safe, pretty much. You know, it's a lot of people like was emailing me saying something like it was close to Habitat for Humanity. It's not like Habitat for Humanity at all, because what they do is they help with like building homes and things like that. We want to keep seniors in their homes. There's a lot of seniors in Baltimore City that is living in unsafe conditions. And so what we do is we show up at your house in true Angel Brown fashion.
Right.
Knock on the
Bells
door
and whistles.
with the bells and whistles and let you know what we're going to do for free to fix your house. We actually have something coming up this coming Saturday. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Next Saturday on the 8th. That is going to be one of our first ones that we actually are going to surprise someone, and we're going to be fixing some really, really horrible things that's going on in their house that's making their house unsafe. And so if you guys know a senior citizen, it could be your neighbor, your grandmama, your mom, who needs some sort of fixings in their houses. I ain't talking about gutting the whole house, y'all. I'm just saying, like, you know, maybe their plumbing not working, maybe their roof is leaking. I ain't talking about gutting the house and redoing the whole thing, okay? We ain't there yet, okay? Not on Oprah's level yet, giving out houses, but we will be. Anyway, you can go to the website if you know someone. It's www.theangelbrowneffect.com. Reach out to James Clark, guys. It's 410-381-7386, and that is jamesclarkcares.com. Listen, I'm so super excited. I always love when my husband comes in. Hopefully in the future, we'll do like a marriage and finance show. Hopefully he'll be like, oh, I got 5 minutes. Oh, okay. Well, I ain't even got to wrap it up then. You know, I was trying to wrap it on up because I saw the clock. You know, it was almost 9:30. But okay, because Mike Davis, you know, took on a little bit of my show. All right. Anyway, I want to shout out to some people, right? I have Jovan, shout out to Jovan. She called me like last week on last week's show, and she was so touched by the show that I had to shout her out because she actually called me as well because it was some things that I said that may have touched her. So I got a shout out to her. And Miss Mary, shout out to Miss Mary who was listening, who really touched my heart, had me on the phone crying, you know, about, you know, the experiences that she was going through actually listening to the show. Like people were like pulling over on the side of the road crying. Last Saturday. And last Saturday, really, I was just, you know, telling my story about what was going on, you know, with my grandmother and my sister. And by the way, they're doing absolutely great. They're fine right now and recovering. My grandmother's recovering well. So thank you for all the prayers and things like that, because I get like hundreds of emails a day. And I promise you guys, I try to respond to everybody on it because I think that people know that I'm inspiring to them, but a lot of people inspire me as well. And I want you guys to know that. But listen, Baltimore, go to my website. We definitely want to start helping the seniors. It is, I think we received over 1,700 letters. That goes to show you how many people are living in unsafe conditions. And we need to go ahead while these sponsors is paying for it. We gotta go ahead and get this stuff fixed, guys. Because if not, what's happening is, and Damon, you can attest to this, you've been in the medical field.
Yes.
People have breathing issues. People, especially seniors,
yes,
breathing issues and things like that, not knowing that their house is making them sick.
right. Filtered air filters.
Yeah, like
Mold.
just little simple stuff. Asbestos on their plumbing piping,
Yep.
lead in their windows, and they just can't afford to actually get it fixed. They live on a fixed income, $800 to $1,000 a month. How are they going to fix that?
Right.
You know, so we want to make sure that we help. So go to www.theangelbrowneffect.com. Also, continue to like my fan family page on Facebook. We was just talking about social media. But still like it.
Well, that's being used for good.
It's being used
The
for good.
greater good.
But anyway,
Yeah.
like my fan family page. You can also find me on Instagram. What am I on? Twitter. Yeah, I'm on Instagram, ain't I? Yeah. I don't be posting a lot, but Jason be getting on me. I'm going to start posting a lot. You can find me on Twitter, and then also we have the YouTube page coming. Anaya, you got anything to say? You want to say anything? Naya don't want to talk to y'all today. She's trying to get back home to her computer. But listen, guys, another thing we want to make sure is that you guys check out Damon and New Wave Health Services. Damon, give them your information as well.
New Wave Health Services, 4419 Falls Road, Suite C, Baltimore, Maryland, 21211. Phone number there is 443-869-5522. Also want to say we just opened a new facility, so we have 10 new slots available. When you come to New Wave, you're treated like family. We're
Sure
more
is.
personal. We don't do the big box thing. We get to know our participants of our program. Also, I just want to say to the guys and girls out there that we have to come together. We have to change the face of what success looks like. I say that all the time. We have some very smart and powerful people out there, but if we just put all of that stuff in the right place and start our own or get with somebody and team up, we can do some very powerful things. I come from nowhere. I come from nothing. Just like a lot of people I run into who have businesses, who are successful, and all it took was for them to take that energy and that knowledge and just put it in a positive direction. A lot of things have changed for you.
That was. That's my daggone husband. Boom!
That's true.
No, it is the truth.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If we work together, we can make money together. Nobody wants to work together, but hopefully, I think more and more people are coming around to it, though.
Because they're saying that's the blueprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a generational curse for us not to work together before. But now, come on, y'all. Just because we all have the same business doesn't mean that we can't get this money together.
Exactly.
I'm not sure why Naya Marie turned on her computer. I can barely hear. But it's okay. We got to sign off anyway. Again, guys, go to www.theangelbrowneffect.com. Thank you to my husband for coming in
Thank you for
and
having
sitting with me today. Now I was about to get some breakfast and call it the day. Thank you, Baltimore. Pat yourself on the back. Mental health. Let's get it together, y'all.
Together.
Angel Brown Effect.
Angel,
Angel Brown Effect.
angel,
Angel Brown Effect.
empower me, inspire me.
Angel Brown Effect.
Brick by brick and block by block. We're gonna build it up.
Angel Brown Effect.
We're gonna build it up
Angel Brown Effect.
with Angel, Angel, Angel.
Has an effect on everybody. Angel Brown Effect. The Angel Brown Effect. The Angel Brown Effect.
I'm Kwesi Mfume, and I'm running to be your congressman again because America is at a crossroads and our communities are in pain. Crime and violence are out of control, and we're losing our young people to the grave. And like you, I've had enough. The government is divided, and Donald Trump continues to appeal to the worst in America. We need to return to the days when we actually got things done, when education was properly funded, when good jobs were available, when our streets were safe, and when our young people were able to dream and then watch those dreams come true. I need you to make a difference and to stand with me one more time. I know the community, and the community knows me. This is Kwesi Mfume. I'm proven, tested, and ready to go to work on day one. I'm asking for your vote on February the 4th. Kwesi Mfume for Congress.
Paid for by Kwesi Mfume for Congress. Kia Pearson, Treasurer.
Today's horoscope brought to you by Geico. Capricorns, today is a perfect day for romance and fun-filled activities with your partner. And by fun-filled activities, we mean shopping for car insurance. Luckily, you'll find that switching to Geico could save you hundreds of dollars a year. You'll keep this day of romance going at the hardware store by arguing for half an hour over the color of your backsplash. Love is indeed in the air, Capricorns.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Charles S. Waters, Senior Pastor and Founder of New Generation Ministries, and I want you to know, Baltimore, we love you. We are going to rise from everything that the devil has tried to put in our way, and just know great things are to come. But I want to welcome everybody. Welcome to the new Praise 106.1. Be blessed and know that what you say today determines the future of your tomorrow.
Question is, when you stand